Try to brighten this up so y'all can see it. I'm looking at it, but I promise y'all I really am looking at something. One is, wow, and it actually looked like that airplane is following that light. And if he was following it, he lost it. So those things that they call stars, and I know y'all was taught that they were stars. Not all of them are stars, okay? Those are spacecrafts, all right? I know that's hard for some of y'all to accept, but let me tell y'all something that happened in 2010. I'm sitting outside, by the way. Let me show y'all the houses around me so y'all know, okay? I'm gonna show y'all the street. Let me tap that lens. That's the street down there. You see that car? Now I'm actually sitting out, and I wish the camera, it ain't doing me no justice, but there's a lot of stars out, what they call stars. So in 2010, some buddies of mine, we were all in the backyard, and before I tell y'all this, I'm trying to show y'all these spacecrafts that do move up in the sky, and they change trajectory. I want y'all to see these things. They do move up in the sky, and no, they're not satellites changing position. That's what they tell y'all. And then I had a video of like 50 of them, and they try to call them a satellite train. It's so funny how they use the media and this internet, and they hurry up and come up with some kind of story before the world believes that extraterrestrials exist. They'll say a satellite train. Now, that was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And they came up with it fast, because immediately after I caught these images of these things moving in the sky, they was all in a straight line, and they was just going. Okay, so they came up with the saying satellite train, because they were they were all a few from the ground up. It looked like they was probably 15 feet away from each other, but I'm sure they was farther away from each other than that. But they was really flying in formation. Okay, so they tried to say there was a satellite train. And the crazy thing is immediately after I recorded the video, I uploaded it to YouTube. Soon as it hit YouTube, listen, y'all, soon as it hit YouTube, 2 minutes after, this is how good they are. They came up with it's a satellite train. And everybody across the world seen it, and then they called it, they all heard, I'm sure they all heard that it was called a satellite train as well. So let me tell y'all what we seen that 2010 New Year's night. And I'm sure y'all are aware that people shoot guns on New Year's Eve when it hits 12 midnight. So everybody is outside, and all of a sudden, you know, after the guns is going off, it's almost like these guns gave some kind of call, or they was the multitude of the guns that was going off. It's almost like they heard it, and y'all know who I'm talking about when I say they. So these 3 lights, and the funny thing is the people we were around, some of them actually seen this with their own eyes. Like damn near everybody that was there seen it with their own eyes, but they were like, okay, like real dumbfounded. And me, I was already on it. I knew. These people were saying, oh, those are, what do they call them things? They called them Chinese lanterns. And when they said that, I laughed. Like, you gonna call these 3 things Chinese lanterns? And I said, oh, y'all really gonna say that? Oh, you crazy, them is Chinese lanterns. So what happened was I said, no, y'all just wait a minute and watch this. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was a little terrified because I didn't know what they were doing. One came down, the other one came next to it, and then there was one more that just came out of nowhere. It moved it moved. I couldn't even describe to you how it moved. Only Hollywood could create the movement. How they make their movies, and how spacecraft shake and shift around, and it was mind-blowing. Anyway, there was no sound. There go another one of them lights, and right in the middle of me trying to tell y'all this, and I ain't gonna pick it up, and it's fading out. Wow, amazing. So if any of y'all see this video when I upload it tonight, Go outside and look up if y'all can see the stars at night, and look up and keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. You will see these spacecrafts moving, and no, they're not satellites. So back to this story. When all three of these things came together, they was in a pyramid formation. And once again, everybody said, oh, y'all see, yep, they're Chinese lanterns. And I laughed again. Okay, so if they're Chinese lantern, I said, tell me why that thing is doing that right there. Now, it had no sound. People, listen, it had no sound. One shot about 70 yards away. The other one shot straight up in the air. The other one shot back about another 100 yards. And then they just came right back in formation again. And then they did like a spin. They spun around real slow. And then they moved as if they were one craft when they were three. But they combined themselves to make it look like they were three, because you couldn't see the device itself. All you saw was their bright lights. And a buddy of mine said, oh my God, I'm going to the house. I got to go get something. And as soon as he walked away, these things shot up in the sky their own direction at lightning speed. That's how fast they disappeared. That's how fast they disappeared. And then I looked at everybody and I said to them, I said, no, y'all going to sit here and say that those are Chinese lanterns? Their tongues was on the ground. They were dumbfounded. And the only thing they could say was, those were drones. And I really laughed at that one. People, those were extraterrestrials, and they came down to see what was going on. They were observing, and that's what they've been doing for years. They come down and they observe. And the crazy thing is a lot of y'all do not know this, and I'm telling y'all, listen, when people go missing, keep in mind, they in cahoots with our governments. These extraterrestrial beings are in cahoots with our government. I'm not saying that every race of these beings are of evil, but there are a group and they are in cahoots with our government. In exchange for technology, we give them people. That's all I gotta say, and I don't want to get into the rest of that. And y'all sink your minds in that. Now that helicopter got his spotlight on. And that is not a Stat Medevac helicopter, I'll tell you that right now. Not at all. And every time I go to record something, I got an interruption. That's strange as well. But I wanted to tell y'all something. And a lot of these, not airplanes, a lot of the helicopters that y'all see, I don't know if y'all could go back during the pandemic, during the middle of the pandemic when nobody was allowed outside and we had to have these masks on. Do y'all remember the air activity in y'all cities and in y'all states? Did any of y'all pay attention to that air activity? And if you did, how many of y'all ever took your phones outside and tried to record them, and whenever you put your camera on them, it blurred out the image of the helicopter? The shields, it was a force field around these helicopters. You were not going to pick up, report, show, nothing. All you're going to show is it's a helicopter in the air, because one, if you can't see that it's a helicopter, knowing you can see it with your naked eye and the camera can't, the phone will pick up the sound of a helicopter, but it would not let you get no decals. And just the same as the one Jane Tondi posted, when them things flew across that ocean at the beach, it would not pick up the decals on it, and you could see the hazy heat coming from it. And I told her in the comments, not a cloaking shield, that is like a force field. Hollywood tried to show y'all that in the movies. Force fields, yes, y'all, that does exist. So I'm gonna leave that alone, and I'm gonna let this video go. I just wanted to share that with y'all about that encounter me and some people had. And once again, I wish we were recording that night, but nobody was recording. It was like, I don't want to say like last minute. It was like it came out of nowhere. If you wanted to record, it caught you off guard. You was too scared to even pull your phone out. Some of us was amazed by it. I wasn't amazed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was terrified because I didn't know what the intentions was of those things. So I just thought I'd share that with y'all. We are not alone in the universe, and a lot of y'all already know that. And if you don't know that, we're not. I'm not saying that it's a threat, but also keep in mind that everybody that you see walking by you ain't what you are. I call them imposters. Everybody that you see walking past you are not human beings. They look like you, smell like you, talk like you, act like you, but they're not of you. They're not you. Remember, I told y'all that. And that's a fact. There's a lot of people y'all encounter, even in your judges, your police officers, people in doctors' offices, surgeons, and people in hospitals. Y'all always keep an eye on them people that have no emotion. They have no emotion. Human beings have emotions. Remember that. Love y'all. Stay blessed.